Again, like I said, thank you for letting me interview you. And I have been adjacent to you and have known you for, I guess, most of my life since we've gone to the same church and whatnot. But at the same time, I don't really know you, right? My mom showed me photos of Gypsy, and I saw a photo of you, Sam, Aya, which is kind of crazy that we went to the same middle school slash high school little thing, but now like time has passed so much, and we're all doing these different things, and we're all grown, and yeah, so it's kind of crazy.
Fact.
Genuinely, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy to look back on those memories. Like that was
Yeah,
really me at one point.
yeah. How do you feel like Gypsy affected your journey to where you're at right now?
That's a great question. When I was at Gypsy, I kind of didn't like it.
I
It
don't
felt
think we
like,
all did.
yeah, it felt lame, but at the same time, I think I probably wouldn't be where I am without it. Um, there were, a couple of factors. I feel like Gypsy really did press you to be, the best version of yourself academically, and it also like taught me a lot about, college and like internships, and it set my sights on higher goals and gave me bigger dreams.
When you were at
So I do.
Gypsy, oh, sorry to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
When you were at Gypsy, were you doing like computer science adjacent stuff? Because I know, like my Gypsy experience was just like Gypsy's engineering crap. Then like the year that I was leaving Gypsy, they added like biomedical.
Yeah, I most of the computer science stuff I was doing was actually on my own. Gypsy did give me my first internship, my first software engineering internship at Lockheed Martin, like junior senior year. But yeah, it was mostly self study.
Where did you get this interest? Like,
Gaming. I loved to play games when I was a kid, and one of my friends introduced me to this platform similar to Roblox, where you can make your own games and
what
play
game?
other
What was your
games.
first game?
Oh, it was some Naruto like anime ripoff game, like some platformer, but it was fun. I liked making that game a lot, honestly.
Do you still have like the game and all that?
I do still have the game. I have the source code for the game,
Oh wow!
all the games I made from back then.
Dang, 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 dang. Okay, dang. That's pretty cool. I never knew that. Dang. I thought you were gonna say like Maple Story because like I know I remember y'all used to be addicted or like talk about Maple Story a lot, especially like on Ayomide and stuff. So I just assumed it was gonna be Maple Story adjacent.
No, I wanted to play, but my PC didn't have the specs to play it all the time. So
Me too. I think I started playing Terraria because I heard y'all play Terraria. It's kind of crazy.
uh, that's pretty cool. That's dope.
Small world. But
Thanks.
again, so I've always wanted to do this, and I'm so thankful that you said yes because I want to talk about like your upbringing and your journey from where you're at now. Right? I'm pretty sure you're 23, right? Or are you
Yeah,
22? Okay,
24 now, actually.
my fault. My fault.
Yeah, I'm Uncle Chill, bro.
No, you're not Unc. You're not Unc. I don't think you become Unc until you die. Personally
Mm,
speaking.
that's real.
Yeah.
That's
So I was asking your brother questions so that I can, get a little base and backstory. And he was saying that like his first and earliest memories of you is when he was 10 years old, which I think is kind of crazy. Because I know like there's a 6 year gap, 6 or 4 year gap between y'all.
which one of my brothers?
Olu.
Oh, between us, yeah, there's like a 8 year gap almost.
Oh wow.
No, 6 year gap. It's 6 years.
Yeah, yeah. And he was saying like his earliest memory of you was at your 10th birthday party, and it's just random. It's just a random conversation I had with him, and so you're the eldest in your home, right? You have African stereotypes. Do you feel like those, having to be the pioneer in your family leads you, and how did that affect you emotionally?
I definitely think it's part of me today and does affect everything I do. Um, I yeah, I know having to like be responsible for other people kind of put my head on straight a little bit earlier in terms of like where I wanted to be in life and what I wanted to do. Um, so I think it did shape me significantly just to like look for opportunity and try to like carry people along with me.
Huh. What did you want to be when you were younger? Do you know,
Mm,
like, what was your earliest memory of like, when I grow up, I want to be this?
I remember I remember being really young, like 6 or 7 years old.
We can't escape the word.
But I I remember people around me telling me I should be a doctor, and so I wanted to be a doctor. And then I remember when I got to fourth grade, I really enjoyed writing and like writing comic books specifically. Captain Underpants got me into this
Shout
like
out Captain
complicated
Underpants.
facts. So I wanted to be an author, and then I wrote like a fake book. And then eventually I landed on computers after I played games, and I was like, yeah, this is the one.
Wow, wow, wow. I'm glad you didn't fall for the trap of the doctor. I'm
I
trying.
know
I'm trying to skip the trap right now.
that's funny, but it's. I mean, it's not bad to be a doctor per se. It's just I just knew it wasn't for me,
Yeah,
honestly.
I personally think that life is a journey of self discovery and knowing yourself. And I know for a lot of people, it's like college. I mean, I think there's this guy named Maslow, and he's a famous psychologist, and he talks
Yeah,
about child development or whatever, and he thinks the child development really happens at a very very young age when a child actually actualizes and becomes self around like 12 years old, which in our church 12 years old 13 years old is like youth church. Do you feel
yeah.
like you started knowing yourself around that time, or where did the great shift happen for you, like this is who I'm becoming?
That's a great question. I I feel like I always had that knack for like who I wanted to become even before then, maybe like around 10. Um, it's like I knew I was really into computers. I knew I was like, I'm probably gonna like stay on this computer IT track wherever it takes me, you know. And then it was more around when I started doing research, maybe around the youth church, they encouraged us to like search up careers, like set career goals. And I'm like, okay, computer science fits me really well. So let me just go along this track. But I would say that I kind of had a good feeling a little before 12, like 10, 10
Wow.
ish.
Do you feel like, what are your takes from youth church to like, because we went to the same church all our
Yeah.
lives, right? What are your takes of like good and bad memories of our youth church affecting like who you're becoming? Because like sometimes, me personally, I thought that like they were too strict in certain stuff, especially like calling out on certain things. But I do think because our church is so like academic focused and like who do you want to become focused, it's good and it also has its negatives. Like all A ceremonies, right? Okay, you see other kids getting all A's, so it encourages you. But then like if you don't get all A's, it's like, do they have two brains? Do they have two heads and this
Yeah.
type of thing? So it's like positive and negative reinforcement at the exact same time. I guess it works because everybody's pretty successful, but how does that like how was that for you?
That's a great question. I think the youth church, at least back in my time, they were. I'll start with the positives first. It was really good on like making sure we didn't fall to the wayside or like off ramp into whatever. Kept us pretty focused, and I think that was good because I know I was sort of like a sporadic, spontaneous kid slash teenager, so I did need that kind of correcting a lot. But on the other side of things, there was a lot of like they kind of dulled our self expression, um, and I feel like that kind of negatively affected me. It's like things I would kind of prefer to express myself with were kind of like told me, no, don't do that, or like stick to the template that everybody else is doing. Like this works.
So what are you doing now to express yourself?
I think even being out here in San Francisco is
The African stable. I feel like stability is a god that we worship, even though we don't even realize it. Yeah, absolutely. But I want to go back to the like. I don't know. Maybe I hold this youth church as like this. For example, like we gone to this church Sundays, right? There's one Sunday every week, right? 52 weeks. 52 weeks. At least for me, it's been 14 years, and I think you've been going to House on the Rock since you were like 6. How old were you when you started going to House on the Rock? Yeah, I kind of asked around, and that's what they said too. So, but like we've been here for only one day of a week, but it's so impactful in our lives, right? Even me growing up, like I didn't feel like I had friends outside of church, even though I went to school. You go to school Monday through Friday, but the friends I actually knew were friends from church. Was that the same for you? Ex- that's exactly how I feel because like I've known you my whole life, but I don't know anything about you, right? And I know everybody, and I feel like no matter what, we're this tight knit community where I think if anybody truly ever needs anything or needs a conversation, like I've known you forever. Like we can talk about anything, even if I don't know you. So, huh. Okay, I do want to ask about your business, but at the same time, I think life is a journey of becoming. That's what really what I want to focus on. And what happened in Baylor? Like what? How was Baylor for? How was college for you actually? Because you're away from home, you're away from this. Like no having friends outside of the church for real, for real. The African parenting of like, okay, they want the best for you, but they're only going off what they know and like these traditional values of respect. And yeah, don't be a black sheep. Oh, I've learned. Oh, I've learned. We there even in the word Christian, sometimes there's no Christ in us. Yeah. What are some What are some memories like from Baylor? Do you feel like you okay? College people always emphasize to me that's when you meet your friends for life, right? The uncles to your kids, the aunties to your kids. Did you take away with that, or do you still feel like closer relationships from church, or is it a mix of both? Because I feel like mm, mm. What fraternity did you join? What's that? I don't know anything about that. It's pretty cool. What are some like food spots in Baylor that like you're like anytime I go back to Waco I have to eat there, or is it just mid out there? Jeez. Okay, okay, okay. You're lucky there's no In and Out in Oklahoma. There's no In and Out Oklahoma. Oklahoma's like a Texas, a mid Texas in some aspects, of course. But there's some pretty good food places in like Norman. So I was lucky. Huh. So wait, again, college for me was mind opening because it opened up my heart, right? Like I thought I was this emotionally mature guy going into college. I thought I mean, I wanted to go to college and know God beforehand, and college was like, poof, my perspective of the world shook. Like so, I only went to college for 2 years, and you went to college for I think 3 or 4 years, right? 4 years. 4 years. So there had to be some action packed stuff that makes you you. And what's some things or some takeaways that was like, okay, dang, if this didn't happen, would I still be the way I am? Like this affected my thinking. Hit me with three. or hit me with something that like comes to mind instantly, or like a dang, I hate that happened. Like for me, there was a camping trip that I will never forget. I mean, I learned that Arab men, if they want something, they're gonna get it. And I also learned that certain people, if they taste one sip of alcohol, they'll lose their minds. Hit me. How's that? Because like I know. Wait, because you graduated the year beforehand, 2019, right? Or 2020? Okay. Yeah. What was the craziest party you threw at your place, if you mind sharing? Like a college dorm or a college apartment? Okay, 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 okay. I was gonna say that's dorm and apartment at Loki. Because there was one OU party I went to. My friend did like a little kickback, and they were jumping, and they broke the floor, and they fell through the floor to the person's below them. Yeah, they got kicked out of their apartment. Was it anything like that? Did you ever go to those? Like, how do you? Okay. Huh. What was your favorite school that you went to, and what was that like? Wait, okay. What is real motion? What is real motion? If it's understood, it's understood. I was gonna say, like, did that ever like make you want to do that? Did you ever try to get into like the party scene to do that or not? That's real. It's good to know yourself. Really good to know yourself, actually. Huh. Okay, so you said you never traveled since before you went to college. Have you done some traveling since then? And where have you gone to that's like giving you the most perspective? Where in India? Oh wow. Yeah. Why India? Why Mumbai? That's fire. What the heck? Wow. What was India like for you? Wait, have you been to Nigeria? Like how does it compare? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Me too. I don't know. My roommate, one of my roommate was Indian this year, and I just maybe it's the food he took me out to eat. It's just it wasn't legendary. It wasn't like anything crazy. Like I'd pay like $20 for something mint. So at the moment, I'm blaming my roommate, but I'm stepping away from that. That's legendary. It's legendary. Dang, I never. That's cool. See, that's really. I didn't know you went to India. That's fire, man. It's amazing. What made you want to go from the company you're working in then to like SF? Like, what made you move from SF? Because you said, okay, have the stable life. Then people are telling you not to own your own business, not to take the risk. So I'm assuming I also remember I would see you at church a lot. So I'm assuming you stayed at home for a little bit, stacked up bread before you started doing what you're doing. Then I guess wait, let's skip that. I want to ask this first. I remember I heard you used to make apps and whatnot, and okay, so you were coding on your own. What led you to making apps? Because I even saw your portfolio one time of like stuff you've made or projects you've worked on for other people. Then I used to hear from other people that like you're goaded at this coding stuff. So needed that motion. What was the first app that you made that like actually showed that okay, I can make profit from this? So did you have a job in college, like in software, internships wise, that actually led you to a career in software before you were like, okay, I'm gonna do this on my own, or were you still doing like side projects while doing? It's a feedback loop. If it wasn't for this, but if it wasn't for this, it's nuance, that middle ground of it. That's pretty cool. What the heck? Are you able to like share your screen or like show me something that you've worked on? Is that possible? Bet. Show my little 200 subscribers. I'm pretty. And this is solo, right? Oh, nice. Okay. So he's from Gypsy. What summer camp did you go to? Okay, I've heard of that. What? Motion van. That's pretty cool. What made y'all click it off? Like, what was the time that you're like, okay, this gonna be a guy for life? Absolutely. Can we hear about the platform and how did you discover about it? Oh, damn. Oh, okay, 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 okay. Hey, that's pretty cool. I learned how to do like Java, Python, C++. I tried to make a server in high school. It didn't work. And I realized it's not for me, gang. Absolutely, though. But like, kind of what you said, like, the somebody paid you like $100 or $200 at the time, and that like showed you that it's possible, right? It's like that one yes that it just like tells you, and it reassures your gut. I think like as we listen to our gut, as we listen to ourself, Holy Spirit. I don't know if this is blasphemy. I'm not sure. I'm still figuring it out, but try to listen to that inner voice, and you know like what path you're going, and it'll guide you. So when did you actually like go deeper into listening to self? Because I'm pretty sure, like you said, stability, right? You already okay. You have these internships every summer. You probably could lock in Google, Meta, all the big whatever. I'm not in computer science, but I wouldn't know. I know fintech is pretty big or whatever because my friends are into that stuff, but not really. Were you stubborn as a kid? Absolutely. Is trouble sign for greatness? Is that what we're hearing? So greatness is coming for me then. Amen. Of course, I want to see. Take me to your world, man. A moral compass app. A moral compass app. So, so can we view the moral compass one, or which one did you want to show me actually? Sorry, that one grabbed my attention. Okay, that was the one I saw you using right at church. Could people argue that you're still like technically feeding that addiction of dopamine without the consequences? It's, it's like you're smoking a cigarette without the nicotine. Huh. So, how do you get people on apps? Like you kind of talk about with Reddit. I use Reddit a lot, and I've seen like r/startup, right? That's one of my favorite Reddits. And people talk about, they'll look for a common problem that people have, and they'll post up something to find people, and that's how they get people on their apps. But how do you market your apps, and how do you get people on your apps, or how do you onboard users? Get more leads. That's what everyone pays money for. So this is all organic marketing. Wait, let me actually look up your app now. What's it called? Paper Pigs. Huh, that's pretty cool. Wait, so does the app? Okay, I don't download apps. I probably delete and re-download Instagram a lot. So I don't know if the App Store actually like kind of like how YouTube has suggested videos or whatever? Is it kind of the same thing? Because you said the App Store does it naturally. So how does that work? SEO. Yeah. Wow. So another question is, huh, which app of yours has the most users, and what do you think like led to its popularity? Oh, couple 100,000 downloads. I mean, like I clicked on the app too. I love it. This really helps me in school because of my lockers. Thank you for downloading it. The only thing is that yeah, wow, wow. Just for my nosiness, how do apps make money other than ads? Is it or it's just strictly ads? So it's really not ads. Uh, wow. Huh. Okay, so for example, you said you made a free to use version of this. So what is the subscription for this? Like, so you saw that people are not really able to use the app because they have to pay. So you made a free app. So how do you actually make money on apps like this? Multiplayer on a practice log. Okay, I'm gonna download the app. What the heck? Oh wait, I don't know my password off the dome. That's so does that use like LAN or does that just or is it just this is really cool. This is really cool. When did you realize that you could make apps or like what? Yeah, when did you make your first app? Wow. Yeah, I see multiplayer here. Create a room. Um, it says my name is Zesty Falcon. Like, I guess it's just a random automated name, but this is this is pretty cool, and it tells you how to do it. That's so. Do you still make websites, or do you strictly focus on the app world? So do you do like contracts for like business? Okay, like I met a guy who made that who does UX design and makes the apps for 7-Eleven, right? I worked at LA Fitness over the semester, and randomly at the 5 a.m. like opening shift or whatever opening time, CEOs and COOs or whatever C-suite executives of random companies work out. So you'd meet all these random people who just do really, really cool stuff. But I met this guy who makes app updates for 7-Eleven and whatnot. And I was just like, this is the most random thing I've ever heard. So is it like stuff like that? Repeat yourself? Democratizing it. You said 8-0? A0. So I've been seeing ads on YouTube about like base something 88 or whatever, Riplet, um, things of that nature. Do you use those programs or do you just use your own program that you made yourself? App focused. That's pretty cool. Would I guess future speaking, would you guys ever like just make educational content to show kids how to do this, or are we just gonna? I mean, yeah. Would you niche down to teach kids do educational content from it? Wait. How did that happen? Was this from like the camp that y'all went to whenever y'all met, or oh, the teachers using your app? Wait, can I search? What's the app called again? A A0.dev. Oh, so what made y'all make this? What made y'all pick this name? Okay. Oh, I'm gonna play around with this later, but it's pretty cool. See, I don't know. I realized that I just know really cool people just doing random cool things. So it's just like, wow. Like, have you ever like showed your brothers this and had them make an app, or do they have no interest in this whatsoever? Okay. That's cool. That's cool. Dang. Another thing I'm really interested in is okay, like your SF journey, right? I think you've lived in SF for a year or two now, right? So what has that been like? What is it like going from Texas to a whole different city, living? I mean, obviously you went from where you lived previously to college, but at the same time, this is completely different. Post grad life. What's a major con that like? Yeah, compared to, I don't feel like things close. Is it that early compared to the Dallas area? Because Dallas was early. Mm, what's a big pro from the SF? So when it comes to, I guess, taxes, right? Because people talk about Cali and its taxes, and do you still see that being worth it compared to Texas financially? Okay, because my friend's dad, they just moved to from used to live in Fresno, and they just moved to Texas. They moved to Dallas area. I met him. I met him 2024. Yeah, I met him 2024 fall, and his dad just bought himself a Cybertruck. He said, like, Mitch, I'm keeping like 23% of my income. So it really doesn't feel like I'm wasting money anymore. Because I see my friends like spending habits, and he's like, y'all don't even understand, man. In Cali, man, like this would be X amount. Like it doesn't even feel like I'm spending money. So whenever you come back, is it like, do you have that same feeling? It's just like, okay, this is like really cheap. Oh wow, that's insane. That's crazy. What is something that you had to learn through, like, what's something your business taught you, right? Because I ran a little business for a little bit, and I learned about taxes, and that was like a whole different journey, like a CPA doing all that stuff. So how was that like in tech? Oh, so you're cracked. Okay. Yeah. Because VC money means equity split. Absolutely. What's something that, like, okay, building for investor is completely different than building for user, right? Like, I'm in the healthcare world, right? Uh, I got to meet a bunch of different CEOs of different healthcare companies, and when you talk to them about like profit management of hospitals and healthcare systems versus like value management of actual patient care, it's a completely different world. So, what is it like? This, you're handling someone else's money, and you have to make them profit, but you're also trying to make this experience for the user. But investors have a different vision than you have versus what the even users have. You play video games. Whenever the game has an update, you're like, oh man, this game is not bad, or it's not even something you really want, and it's just like a paywall or something stupid that really didn't work out the way it used to work. A business is not a business if it doesn't make money. Yeah. If you feel like comfortable sharing, like, what is a place where you have made that trade off, and can we see an example? Which is genuinely crazy because you're not ChatGPT. Like the thing is, like, you're going against this massive corporation and you have this small budget. So are your users making profit? That's true. It's very like 0.001% of businesses actually continue to make profit. It's like going to the gym, right? New Year's resolution is the best time for gyms to make money because everybody gets a gym membership. Then, like, how gyms actually make their money is retaining users, not actually coming to the gym. So it's a very interesting, weird business model, but I completely understand because it's based on individual usage, not actual like corporate usage. Oh, that's pretty cool. So can you click on $500? Like, how many credits that gets you? So, how many credits is used per chat? Can you actually run us through it? Is that possible? So, what is auto mode compared to what you just changed? Oh, okay, okay, okay. So then another question is, okay, I know like chat API, like whatever, it's like cents, like 10 cent, or is it like 0.00 cent or something like that. It's pretty cheap, is it not? Oh, okay, okay, okay. Oh, the more you know. Wow. If and not if, but whenever you do have successful users, I'm pretty sure you probably already do, but whenever you do have successful users, would you ever like do like a, what school games is? You know what school is? Like Alex Hermosi, how he does the competitions and like every week or every whatever thing, the highest person gets to like have a meeting with Alex Hermosi. Would you guys do something like that? Just giving you ideas. Absolutely. What is a future goal of, I guess, your business, but also like what is something you really want to achieve with this business, right? Okay, first off, entrepreneur, going on your own, trying to make this life of success, but even like you said, motion. Like what is considered, when will you consider like you've had motion, for lack of better words? It's pretty cool though. I'm still geeking out about like apps. Okay. Wait, okay, okay, okay. Let's talk about this. I'm curious. 100 million a year is when you consider motion. Wow, that's true. That's true. Do you think you need $1 billion? Then can I ask what is enough? A year? Oh, cash 4%. Okay, over time. Okay, 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 okay. Huh. It's interesting because I get to hear different mindsets and like different understandings of money. And okay, do you come from money? Like, do you come from middle class, like from poor, middle class, upper class? Wait, you were born in Nigeria? Where in Nigeria were you born? Okay, okay. Wow. So okay, you kind of saw your parents restarting their whole lives. What do your parents do if you don't mind me asking? Okay, 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 okay. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, so you literally saw your parents restarting their lives, and I think there's a hunger that you have to have as an immigrant, especially when you see the struggles of your parents to provide. Then to make matters worse, you're the first child. You're like the pioneer. So you have to, dang, yeah. So based on that, like, who do you want to become? 'Cause I think that's better question of asking what do you want to be. 'Cause I think we're asked that at a young age, but that's I don't think I would ever ask my child that question because first off, you're a little kid, you don't even know what the future holds, and I truly don't even know what I want to be. So, like, who do you want to become? What type of man do you want to be? I, I literally had a conversation with somebody the other day, like, oh, yeah, like you can have heroes and whatever thing, but like there's a lot of aspects that I wouldn't want in your life. Like he's divorced like 3 times, a month, like or 12 kids. Yeah, dang. I'm learning a lot. I'm actually just thankful to even have this conversation because it's giving me a lot of perspective on like who you are now from what I see on the outside and also what you shared. So, dang. Then I guess this is personal, so you don't have to answer. So, like, immigrant, Nigerian male, we have these stereotypes, and just with my own journey of like not really knowing ourselves when it comes to our emotions and expression and how we deal with, like sadness, how we deal with pain, how we deal with love and those things. How are you overcoming? I think it's a journey. That's not weird. No. What? It's honest. I love that. I love that. When you said like anger and basketball, I literally have like a memory, just like nostalgia in the gypsy basketball court, just played in my head really quickly. I have so many videos in my head, but I think that's honest though, because I relate with you a lot with like finding each emotion individually. Because I going into college, I thought I was like pretty emotionally sound, and I thought I knew myself, right? Then I learned like I dated somebody, then I learned I was like, whoa, I don't know jack about my feelings, and I'm pretty selfish, and I don't really express what I think I'm expressing. Random question: would you let your kids date at a like? When did you first date somebody? If you don't mind me asking. Okay. Oof. Okay. Okay. Oh, maybe we can talk about that off camera or something. That's real. That's real. But okay, what would you, if you don't mind me asking, probably personal too, but what would you do to make sure like your child, son, your daughter doesn't like, go through the same things you went through emotionally and like having to actually like learn to express one emotion at a time? But these are like future thoughts. Just curious. Pops. Mm, Pioneer, Mr. Pioneer. First child syndrome. Then let me ask this. Okay, because like I feel like growing up, we went to technology to escape from the real world, and now we have to leave social media to escape from that world. You know what I'm saying? So how do you feel about social media nowadays? Because I'm I'm a chronic Instagram deleter. I don't have Instagram on my phone right now because I know I'm just gonna end up doom scrolling. And I know I never like struggled personally with like I guess like social anxiety when it comes to like people looking at me if I look good or the clothes or whatever. Like I never really cared about like what people thought on Instagram or whatnot, but I do know that's like people actually struggle with like stuff of adjacent to that, even like cyberbullying or stuff adjacent to that. Like growing up, I think we got the mix of both worlds. That we're not even old or anything, but truly, but like we got the mix of both worlds of going outside, enjoying playing little games. Like I love Terraria, Minecraft, Stardew Valley. Those are the games I grew up playing, or like CS:GO. Now, like kids are so focused on this digital space that they don't even know how to focus on reality. Hit me. Yeah, but now Instagram's infinite scroll thing, and Instagram is not even your friends; it's just random people. So, what is your usage on Instagram like? And I think, like I said at the very beginning, I think life is a journey of self discovery and like self. Just it's a journey of self. Like not to sound overly selfish, but I think we're individual people who go on this journey and we compromise and we sacrifice for other people, and that's how we have to become self, right? But as we are poured into with so many opinions, you don't even know your thoughts. Even in high school, I thought it was like I live in a random small town, and these kids don't even. I live in this like bubble, right? This conservative bubble where like people are culturally Christian. People don't ask you if you're a Christian; they just ask you what church you go to. People are politically leaning one way, but I don't even think they actually know anything about politics truly. And then it's like all this divisive measures, but then we're so focused on the things that are inhuman. For lack of better words, I'm not like anti AI or anything like that, but I do think that algorithms and capitalism as a whole is inhuman. Like we don't ask why, we don't take time to ask why are we doing this, for what cause. And I think at the moment, like my personal thoughts is we're so focused on capital gain that we're not thinking about the future. I completely agree. Like, again, I, I'm in healthcare, right? I'm just healthcare. When people talk about like the problems in healthcare and focus on this one sector, one thing I've realized, every sector matters, right? I think of like the United States is like a whole body, right? The whole body's 12 systems, but these 12 systems affect each other the most, right? If there's something wrong with your digestive system, there's going to be something wrong with your urinary, there's something going to be wrong with your cardiovascular system and whatnot. But the thing is, we're treating these things as like specialized points when we're not focused on the whole problem. And I think a whole problem is not focused on humanity, right? I don't know. Like, I'm really, really lucky that I've never had to deal with like racism. I've never had to really deal with a lot of inhuman acts, but we're so focused on these division things that actually truly don't matter at the end of the day. So, absolutely. So, what matters to you? Like, what actually matters? Because for me, it's changed a lot, and I've realized I think I value family a lot more than I did growing up. Right? I think maybe it's because of how overbearing our parents felt or whatever, but I definitely wanted to just go off to college and never come back. But now I'm like, okay, I want to be intense. I want to make sure I actually know my parents, know their stories, and I also want to like meet people because at the end of the day, I think we're all strangers, but we don't have to stay that way. Yeah, yeah. But money can only solve money problems, and money will never solve issues of the heart. And I think like, I mean, this is a privileged conversation to even talk about like, focusing on things of the heart. But the reality is, if we like, I mean, I have money problems. I think we all have money problems, but at the end of the day, those don't truly matter as much as like the issues of the heart and the issues of our soul. So yeah. Yeah, and that's why I wanted to do this in all honesty, because like, okay, there's people I've been around my whole entire life, but I actually don't know you, and we're literally not strangers because of the time spent together. But at the same time, you guys have impacted my life. You've impacted my life without you even knowing it, right? There's things I've heard about you, Jason, growing up. It's like, oh, that's interesting. Now I know more, and now I get to ask these questions. But even more, like, if what matters is family, I think church is like I walked around the children's church when I moved back a couple Sundays ago. I think 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I was like, I'm looking at old photos from like the church Facebook page or whatever. I'm like, dog, genuinely crazy. Like my whole life is literally in this church. I, I took it for granted. Yeah, exactly. It's like I don't know. Christianity is so interesting because I feel like a lot of Christians stay in this Christian bubble, and you don't actually. They're not in the real world. But I do think the real world is like this is a dumb word because we're always in the real world. You know what I'm saying? Like, but this Christian bubble is just like, hey, buddy, you love Jesus, I love Jesus, or like. But even then, do we even follow Jesus? Do we even live for Christ? And that's a whole different topic. But yeah, I think again, theory or like words are different than experiences. But I also learned that you don't need to. you don't need to have every experience for you to like know not to do something or whatever. Like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I also know like if God was to, show somebody like, use somebody as the example, I'm just not trying to be the one. Yeah. Again, thank you so much for this. I really, really appreciate you and your time and also just a raw conversation and getting to know you. Thank you. Beautiful.